BizQuik podcast hits on the struggles and advantages of being an entrepreneur. It's for anyone who's made the commitment to burn the boats and not look back. Are you a busy entrepreneur or small business owner trying to do it all? Then this podcast is for you. Corey and Julie will take you through the details of building a strong business. Hit the subscribe button and gear up for another episode of BizQuik Podcast.
Hello and welcome to BizQuik. I'm Julie.
And I'm Corey.
And today I get to do the introduction.
Because it's an easy name.
We've got Don Markland out of Jacksonville, Florida. And he is a CEO, he's a business coach, and he's the greatest sales coach on planet Earth.
I saw that, and I feel like there might be a few people out there who would argue, and I know that our good friend Corey Barrier...
Ooh, he might. Corey Barrier might put up a battle on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Corey. Obviously, I don't know Don. We're gonna meet him today, but Corey seems like he's the type of guy who wouldn't be afraid to
throw down,
fight dirty.
I agree. I agree. So, well, before we bring Don on to find out what makes him the greatest sales coach on planet Earth, we're going to talk a little bit. What are we talking about?
Sales coaching, coaches. We can talk about accountability. That's a big part of
accountability.
It's a big part of coaching in general. Is because that's the only thing that I still don't not really sure what a coach does. But accountability is part of it. That's the only thing I think they do.
Well, they hold people accountable,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how? Like with a weapon. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. Do you think that if we used weapons to hold our clients accountable, that we'd have more or less clients? And would we spend more or less time in jail?
Probably. Well, we'd have plenty of clients in prison.
I'm not looking for prison clients. Yeah. Does that sound weird?
Yeah, that sounds... sounds like a dirty movie.
That's another podcast.
Yes.
It's a different episode. All right. Well, this so Don has a very interesting experience, right? He's a global sales leader. He's grown 3 successful companies to over $75 million. He's a Forbes contributor, and he runs his own executive coaching practice. So he does a lot of things. So it'd be interesting. I'm guessing he can tell us, talk to us a lot about the accountability side of things. And what's interesting, Corey, is that I feel like, for existing entrepreneurs, this is one of the areas that this is tough, is the, holding people accountable. So we sort of have this hybrid model. We coach and consult, where there are some things that we'll just do for our clients. And there's other things that we coach them on, like perhaps like leadership development or how to do marketing or whatever, right? We're offering these coachable moments, if you will. But I find it very hard for me personally, I struggle at they get the action items, the takeaways, and they're supposed to be doing these things, and they're also running a business, and we get together for our next session and they haven't done them yet.
And that's where we came up with our approach, again, for our way to hold people accountable, because they're only going to do the work that they want to do.
Yeah.
And, they hire us because they want to improve their business. They want to grow. They want to make more money, etc. But life gets in the way and business gets in the way. And the only way that we could figure out because it's a waste of our time and theirs to meet if nothing has been accomplished. So we basically hold their work hostage, so to speak. We're like, if you're not going to, we'll resume work as soon as you can complete X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And, otherwise, there's no sense in us meeting or spending time doing anything, because we're waiting on you to complete whatever it is that you're doing, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. And it's sometimes, that particular approach works until it doesn't, right? And by that, sometimes people fall so far off or so far behind schedule that it's like, look, they paid us, we're committed to doing this work. We have a contract with them, and they're not doing their stuff. So now what do we do?
And at that point, we have to
alter the language in our contract.
Yes. forge their signature. No,
Just kidding.
That's where but like altering the language isn't really that far off. We reevaluate the contract, the statement of work, because if what we're working on is no longer something that they need or they don't want to work on or whatever it is, we're flexible. We can change. You know, we can deliver something else. I mean, we've had that with clients where, you know, we've been months into the project and realized, wait, we're not working on what we're not working on what they need us to be actually working on right now. So, you know, we have that talk and say, look, this is what you paid us to do, but you don't need that. You need this.
Yeah. And sometimes I laugh because when we were working with Caveman Waits, right, which is a really fun client, and Mike was a great, great client, we realized long after we were done doing the work that we delivered him a new website, but that wasn't actually part of our deliverables. But we were like, you know what? That's on us. That was our goof. And so we took it. We absorbed that cost because we paid our partner to create that website, and we absorbed it because we're like, we just did the work thinking that it was supposed to be something we were delivering. And I mean, I don't think in any way, shape, or form that Mike took advantage of us. I think Mike probably didn't realize it either. And so we're just like, well, that's on us. And well, let's get a little bit better about reading our contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones we write.
I think that in that instance, I think we just confused the work that we were doing with him with other clients who were getting websites.
Yeah.
And whatever. So you got a website.
And he got a fantastic website. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, go check it out.
Cavemanwaits.com.
Yeah, he really did get a fantastic website. So anyway, back to the accountability thing. How much of a problem do you think that poses for the clients that we're working for when, do you think they're expecting us to hold them accountable, or do you think that they're expecting us to just go easy on them and not really have the accountability piece in there?
You know, I think that they're a little bit surprised because now that I'm thinking about it, we don't actually tell them that's a part of what we're going to do is hold them accountable. Like we've had 2 conversations with 2 clients where it's kind of been like us scolding them a bit, be like, look, you're screwing up and like we need you to do this work. And I mean, we even told one of them like right now, this conversation is not going to continue until you do this one little thing.
That did not go over well, but he did the work.
Yes, but it happened.
Yeah. So I guess that's a lesson for us and something that we continue to improve on over time. But I know that we're running long here and we don't want to take away time from Don. So why don't we pause this conversation? We'll bring Don in and we'll continue talking about accountability and all other things related to the greatest salesperson on the planet.
We've launched a whole new coaching program aimed at helping small business owners accelerate their revenue. This one-on-one, well, technically 2 coaching is built around your schedule and your goals and will help keep you on track to make your business a success. There are no strings attached, no long commitments, and at $600 a month, it's priced perfectly for any small business owner. If you're struggling to find time to grow yourself and your business, or you want to find ways to improve your financial situation, head on over to sbpace.com/small-business-coaching to sign up.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. We said we were going to have Don Markland on, but we lied because we got lied to twice.
Twice, not once, twice.
And yeah, so we don't know where Don is, but the first time he had to do a last-minute reschedule, and this time no idea where he is, which is funny considering we were talking about accountability, and his website is Accountability Now. Julie has been waiting for me to use one of those buttons for months.
I'm so simultaneously happy, sad that Don Markland could not make the podcast today because, well, one, I think this allows us to leave Corey Barrier as the reigning champion of sales.
Fact.
And 2, we got to use the sad trombones. But also 3, I really was actually looking forward to talking to Don about, why he gives himself the title of why he's the self-proclaimed best salesman on planet Earth.
No, best sales coach.
Sales coach.
Not salesman.
Oh, sales coach. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, he's doing a good job of keeping up of confirming our opinion of coaches in general.
Right on. Right. Which is funny because, we are coaches, but we say straight on our website, we hate coaches and consultants.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, well,
I mean, you can clearly just give yourself a title.
obviously.
And that's the thing that with coaches and consultants in general and we've spoken about this numerous times and written about it as well, that the problem with coaches and consultants is that it requires almost zero, if not exactly zero, experience, certifications, knowledge, anything. You can just put coach after your name, and now you're a coach.
On every level, though, right? Except for maybe like in the NFL or
Well,
like
yeah.
NBA. But I mean, how do you think they get like coaches in high school and junior high?
Well, exactly. It's like, oh,
It's the English teacher.
and then I was just going to say that. It's, like the Little League coach. Oh, it's Johnny's dad.
Yeah.
Is he qualified to be a coach? Probably not.
Probably not. Do you think Johnny's going to get better treatment?
If he's a better player. And that's the way it should be. We should live in a meritocracy.
Agreement. So, we talked a little bit on the front end about accountability, about coaching, and about that, what it means to hold your clients accountable. What about when you are in business? So let's say that let's continue talking about accountability, and you're not necessarily a coach. Let's say that you're consulting for people, or you have partners, right? So we have experienced this before, where you have partners and they don't follow through. Like, what does good accountability look like to you in terms of dealing with other people, right? So not like you and I, like us holding each other accountable, but the people that we work with, either our clients that we have for that sort of hybrid coaching consulting approach, or like partners that we work with.
I mean, what does it look like from my perspective, or what does it look like in terms of how we hold people accountable?
From your perspective, in terms of when somebody isn't doing what they say they're going to do, or they've committed to do, like, what does it look like for you holding them accountable?
Well, I mean, I think you have to start off with the, innocent until proven guilty approach, because people could have the best intentions, but they're not good at time management or understanding how to balance, their like work-life balance and things like that. So I think that starting off, you want to make sure that you're addressing the right problem. Too often today, we're quick to fix the symptoms and we don't really care about the root cause. And so if somebody's having a problem with accountability, they're not showing up on time, they aren't delivering, you need to figure out why that's happening. Okay. You don't want to just immediately say, okay, we need to fix this problem. It's, are you overcommitting? Do you have too much on your plate? Do you not care about this? Like, I think that, when we were talking on the front end there, we were saying that, a lot of times that we'll be in the middle of a contract with a client and realize that what we're working on isn't what they really need. Mm-hmm. And so, and in that instance, it's, you hire a lot of people, they'll hire people to help with marketing because they think, oh, well, marketing's just going to fix everything. Because as soon as I get that marketing problem fixed, then sales are going to come in and then money's just going to fix all of the other problems, when it's really something like it's a root cause. There's issues with their product, their service, their processes, their foundation, like all sorts of stuff that need to get fixed. And that's the real reason why they're not seeing the success that they want to see.
How much easier is it? I appreciate that answer, because
Thank you.
you're welcome, because it's, dealing with symptoms it's easier, right? But how much easier is it to figure out the root cause for a client versus figuring it out for ourselves? So for example, we know we can get a lot of traffic to our website, but sometimes we struggle with conversions on some of our courses, right? So is it like, how do we sort of do the analysis to determine, do our courses suck? They don't. Or is it bad sales copy? Right? And like, what's the, how do you, if you're being really analytical and non-emotional, which is pretty much you all the time, how do you kind of walk through those steps to diagnose what the actual problem is for us versus how you do it for a client? Do you approach it differently?
I mean, not really. So, I mean, to break it down for us, so we get traffic to our site through paid ads, but then we have a problem with conversion. So you isolate where the problem is. And so I'm trying to think of an example. I can't with a client that I know that we had recently, but for, again, using ourselves as the example, our ads aren't the problem. The content, the copy in our ads, who we're marketing to, that's not the problem. We're getting a great return on our investment there in terms of people showing up to our website, but there's a disconnect somewhere between that website and the purchase button.
Yeah.
And so for us, and that's where, okay, so we've tried to fix a few things along the way to make it, a smoother experience, fewer clicks, better copy, all of those things. But I don't think that and I don't even know if we're qualified to do this in the sense that we're in the middle of it, and this would be an instance where outsourcing is probably a good idea to say, hire somebody. I mean, you could even do A/B testing. You could do secret shoppers. I wasn't the right word, but like something along those lines where you pay people to come, go to the website, go through your experience. What do you like? What don't you like?
Oh yeah, so some user group testing.
Yeah, group testing, things like that, to find out where we're missing the mark. Because again, we know that we can get people to the site, and we know the products are good, and we know there's value in what the people are getting, but that click, and the thing is it could be our copy, it could be that we just don't have that credibility as a business yet. Like people, they land on our site and they're like, well, I don't really know who these people are. And, maybe we need to redirect them to somewhere else, or, we've thought, I don't know, a lot of things and that's the thing. Like when we were talking with, Caleb, Roach, is you can look at the numbers, and I think this is before we had him on when we were doing our front half there, but the numbers don't lie. They just tell you whatever they tell you. And so, you can look at that and say, oh, okay, well, we could blame it on copy, but maybe that's not it. Maybe our color scheme sucks and it just turns people off. And there's nothing about our color scheme, our color palette that says buy now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that could affect that. But we know at least where the problem is.
Right. That's true. And I also was wondering, I mean, could the problem be, I have two other ideas, right? And I think this is just a really good time to say, I feel like we're going to get this problem solved very quick, very soon, right? In terms of, because we've got, two really big things going on. One being that we're going to be doing a mastermind with David Breyer on branding and positioning, and that's going to help us tremendously. And the other is that I am working now with Tony Watley and working on just basic business stuff for our business, and that's like a 12-month commitment of coaching with Tony in a mastermind. So I feel like we will get to the bottom of it. And so I have a little bit more, this is unusual for me, I have a little bit more patience than I normally do, where I'm like, we'll get there.
I know, we haven't updated this website in 48 hours.
But I find myself wondering, is it possible that one, we're not selling to the right pain point for people, right? So is it what the offer that we have, and maybe even the sales copy is good, but it's not the pain that the people that are coming to our website are feeling? Or two, is it that there's this really huge oversaturation in online courses, and so we've got to really amp it up? And I often wonder, do we need to increase our prices to make the product seem more valuable? And I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, and we could spend the entire rest of this podcast talking about that. But yeah, there's that, and that's the thing. When you're having a problem with your business or your personal life, Corey Harris, life coach, it's easy to jump to conclusions as to what the problem is, but realistically, there's probably something driving that's causing that actual problem, and there could be multiple solutions to it. So you have to be open-minded to different approaches, different solutions, and you have to be willing to just to take advice that you might not actually take from other people, whatever that is. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
No, it absolutely did. I think that we're gonna find out that there's probably a few screws we need to tighten.
Sure.
Does that sound weird?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's certain things that if we're gonna go with the building analogy, we gotta nail down a few things. But
nice job.
And it could be one thing. It could be a combination of things.
Yeah.
And that's again, people are quick to blame one particular thing. Like, this is the reason that my business is failing. It's because I can't find people. There's nobody in the labor market out there. That's why I can't do my business. It's like, well, there are people out there. The problem is you can't find people to work for you. Mm-hmm. And, why is that? And then you have to dive into that. Like, is it because of your culture? Is it because of the pay? Is it because of the industry, the location?
Are you a crappy leader?
Are you a crappy? Yeah, all of those things need to be considered. But it's easy just to place the blame on the obvious, like, again, the symptom, when it's probably not that.
It's probably not that. It's probably something a little bit different. Yeah. So that, when you're, and that also circles back to accountability, right? And finding what the actual problem is, and then being accountable for your role in it, and in causing it, and in the solution to it.
Yeah, and I think that feedback, being able to receive feedback without taking it personally, especially when it comes to your business, is so critical, because it's hard to receive personal feedback without taking it personally, but
I never take feedback personally.
No, not that at all. If there's somebody that has zero emotion on this team,
it's me.
Yes.
What was my Spacey Award?
The most emotional.
Most emotional team member.
Yes.
Yeah, you were biggest bully on the block.
Fact. But and a title that I hold near and dear. So, but yeah, the understanding that, again, when it comes to feedback, intent is is an important part of that, because if somebody's giving you feedback because they want you to improve and they're not trying to be hurtful, obviously, like, you can't take that personally. It's I don't like this about your business, and not because I want you to feel bad about yourself, but because I want you to do better. And people, it's hard to give feedback because people take it so seriously. And that's why I love, love and hate, but mostly love online reviews, because you get a more unfiltered view of what your business is. People are going to be a little more honest. Sometimes a little
too honest.
Honest to the point where it's just overkill. Like, you have a bad experience at a restaurant because there's a labor shortage, and you were told well in advance of sitting down that there's a labor shortage, and then you go online and complain about how slow the service is. Yes, you're accurate. The service was slow, but you're just being a dick at that point. Going in and saying, giving an honest review of a business, the customer service experience was great. The interaction online was to be, whatever the service, like, all of those things. To be desired, yeah, exactly. So, and that, where I think people are going to be more willing to give their honest opinion. Yeah. Because they don't, people try to avoid that. Like, they avoid confrontation whenever possible, for the most part. Most people do.
But a lot of people really enjoy being sort of these keyboard warriors, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, let me say all the mean things right now that I can possibly say. But being able to receive feedback, and we ask all of our clients this when we start working with them, is, how are you on getting direct feedback? I think sometimes if we become too close to the clients, and by we, I mean me, it gets a little bit harder to give that direct feedback. But I also have noticed about myself that when I get to the point where I realize that maybe clients start to take advantage of that relationship, I will get direct real fast. Like I will that friendship. It gets moved.
Does it sail?
What?
Is the friendship sale?
No, it gets moved to the side real quick, right? Where it's like, yes, we can be friends over here, but right here during this business transaction, like you're gonna need to make some adjustments real quick,
Sure,
or we're gonna fire you. Yeah, and you got to hold people accountable, but I also expect that people will hold us accountable.
You would think so, but then again, like when it comes to like people, they think they're doing you a favor by not telling you bad things, when in fact you need to hear that. Like you do anything, it's impossible to please everybody, and if you do something and it pleases everybody, there's something wrong. Because you take a anything out there. It's like, okay, like, I mean, yes, it's possible to get 5 stars, obviously, on a scale of 1 to 5. Nothing wrong with that. But like realistically, like, was everything perfect?
No.
Exactly. So, and that's where that honest feedback comes in. But then, you look at a company and they've got 1,000 ratings and they're all 5 stars. It's like, there's no way that every single person was happy with it, their entire transaction.
Exactly. Or, it's almost like when we, as we're getting reviews on BizQuik, and we finally got like a 4-star review, and you were like, oh, thank God. It actually makes us seem more legit, right? Because somebody was like, it was good, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because this is, a learning experience for us, and we welcome feedback. I mean, anytime that somebody tells us something that they think that we should improve upon, it's not like we're going to jump at it and immediately fix whatever it is, but we'll address it. We'll review it and say, okay, is this something that fits our, that we need to fix, that fits our brand, that fits whatever it is we're trying to deliver. Yeah. And that's appreciated. So for anybody out there, if you want to fix something with this podcast, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know.
We would appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want us to adjust Corey's attitude, yeah.
No, you do not want that to happen, folks. But that's, we're going to have to start wrapping up. We appreciate Don for not showing up, so that gave us a chance to chat and troubleshoot some things about our marketing.
Yeah, about our marketing, our accountability, and now you know that the machine that is SB Pays and BizQuik podcast is on a constant quest of improvement. All right. So thank you, Corey, for showing up for me today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. Thanks to our listeners for tuning in. Thank you to Corey Barrier for continuing to be the sales CEO. You are, in our opinion, the greatest sales coach on planet Earth. And everything you need to know about Corey Barrier will be in the show notes.
Sure.
Because who else are we going to promote?
Yeah, we'll plug him in the show notes. If you want to work with us, you can connect with us on social media: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We got TikTok going on. Probably remove Twitter from that list. Everything that you would ever need to know about us, for the most part, is on our website, sbpace.com. And if you want to work with us, reach out to us there.
Yeah, and you know what? Subscribe to our podcast, and we would really love it if you would like us, give us a review, do some downloads, and if you're interested in hearing about any topics, go ahead and reach out and let us know.
Don't forget to purchase our book, Seriously Now What? A Small Business Guide to Disaster Preparedness. We've got a digital workbook download available on our website. It was a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And if you've already purchased it, don't forget to rate it and review it and give us some of that honest feedback.
Yeah. I'm Julie.
And I'm Corey.
And this was BizQuik, holding people accountable all across America.